century ago, anyone could work as an engineer without a proof of competency. In order to protect the public health, safety, and welfare, the first engineering licensure law was enacted in 1907 in Wyoming. A pleasant day to everyone. This is Jonaliza Lopez, and together with my co-researchers, we will be presenting our study entitled A Comparative Study of Hiring Licensed Civil Engineers over Unlicensed Builder Upon Houses Construction in South Poblacion, Bukidnon.
Background of the study. One of a person's fundamental necessities is shelter. It defends us against threats, both natural and man-made, as well as the vagaries of nature. A house gives a person a sense of security and well-being, as well as social stature. Many people struggle to gather the materials, and a builder needed to build a quality home that can guarantee its safety, ability to withstand disaster, and affordability. Building a house or any permanently standing structure can be an incredibly complicated job. Not only do you need to have materials of best quality, but you also need to consider the one who will construct them. When considering home building, you need to hire the right constructor to build your home. The fact that a constructor is licensed further indicates that they take their work seriously and won't skimp on it. While an unlicensed constructor, on the other hand, cannot offer you the same assurance. For instance, a constructor without a license won't be able to obtain any permits needed for a particular task. Unlicensed constructors are frequently less expensive than licensed builder in terms of cost. Thus, the purpose of this study is to assess whether having licensed civil engineers rather than unlicensed builders in building homes in South Poblacion, Bukidnon. This study aims to identify which licensed civil engineer or unlicensed builder create a cost-effective structure, how durable their work is under catastrophic stresses, and what the difference between hiring a licensed civil engineer or qualified civil engineer and unlicensed builder.
Objectives of the study. This study mainly seeks to compare the differentiability in hiring licensed civil engineers over unlicensed builders upon houses construction in South Poblacion, Bukidnon. At the end of the study, the researchers specifically aim to achieve the following. First, to compare their work in terms of structural durability under catastrophic pressures. Second, to determine who among the licensed civil engineer and unlicensed builders produce a cost-effective structure. And lastly, determine the significant difference between hiring a licensed civil engineer and unlicensed. Significance of the study. The findings of the study will serve as an evaluation of the competence of civil engineers. This will also provide knowledge and enlightenment to the builders and homeowners about the advantages and disadvantages of licensed and unlicensed builders. The Department of Civil Engineering will also benefit as the results of this study may inspire innovative practices in the future. Scopes and limitation of the study. The study only includes the comparison of licensed civil engineer and unlicensed builders and is only limited to South Poblacion, Bukidnon, having the specific objectives which compare, determine, and assess the variables. This study will not extend to a more complex study of different infrastructure, but solely the structural durability and cost-effectiveness of residential houses. Data gathering will begin in the month of January 2023 and is expected to conclude in March 2023 in a face-to-face setting.
Methodology, Research Design. A mixed method research design will be used in collecting, analyzing, and mixing both quantitative and qualitative research in this study to understand the research problem. A phenomenon will be described using a descriptive design, and comparisons will be made using a comparative design. It uses questionnaires as its primary research tool. The questionnaire that will be given to the respondents serves as the main instrument for data gathering. The questionnaire will be developed with the intent to gather enough data related to the study's objectives. Sampling procedure. This study employs stratified random sampling with strata, namely houses built by licensed civil engineers and unlicensed builders. Given the 2,793 households in the 2015 census with the unknown population of each strata, samples are to be calculated using the overall household population, resulting to 338 samples each stratum. Nevertheless, a research plateau will be considered upon data gathering. The corpus of the study. The corpora of the study are the works of licensed civil engineers and unlicensed builders in terms of structural durability under catastrophic pressures, cost-effective structure, and the significance between hiring a licensed civil engineer and unlicensed builders.
Since South Poblacion is one of the barangays in Maramag with a positive growth rate in population, it was chosen as the study's focal point. It is an appropriate location for the study since the number of homes in the region is growing along with the population.
Data gathering procedure. A letter of request will be sent to Barangay South Poblacion, Maramag, Bukidnon, stating our request to interview the residents. After which, an informed consent will be handed out to every respondent before giving them the questionnaires to make sure that they are willing to participate in this research. There's a total of 338 respondents or 1 respondent per household. At the end of the conduct, the researchers will have necessary data for the completion of the study. Method of analysis. Responses from the interviewees will be utilized to ensure the correctness and completeness of the answers as well as compliance with instructions. The right guidance in vernacular will be used to give a suitable grasp of the interview that the researchers provided. The research method that will be used at each step may vary depending on the study subject and the sets of information and processes to be used for data collection.
Statistical treatment. This study will employ mean and percentage distribution upon analyzing the results of the comparisons in hiring licensed civil engineers over unlicensed civil builders in South Poblacion, Maramag, Bukidnon. Both will help to summarize the observations, estimate the reliability, and to make comparisons. Ethical consideration. The study will prioritize the anonymity and confidentiality of each respondent and will hold responsible for the data gathered. An informed consent will be provided prior to their participation. Moreover, the researchers will assess relevant components and the study's findings will in any way bear no ethical implications to the respondents.